Hello, Renee Flamond here, and Minnie. One of the most daunting realizations that I had made after I had ended my relationship, actually, was that, because I did a lot of work looking back into it, and I told you that, I was always in a state of healing. Always. Every single day, it seems. I was getting over something, working through something, trying to talk to him, trying to ask questions, trying to figure this out, sad about a fight. We could have a wonderful night, but we're going to fight from midnight to 3 a.m. And I didn't know enough then to not, to go ahead, baby, to say, you can't talk to them. You can't, fight with them. You can't make them see. So there were a lot of 3, 6, 9-hour clips that I would go and just try. And I thought, before I was educated and knew about this disorder, I thought he was just a normal person that I was trying to reach. That was difficult to reach. That's healing. When you're trying to reach them and you're in the midst of an argument and you're healing during it because you're in pain and you're exhausted and it's strife and it's not a very peaceful place to reside. As you meander about your environment, I want you to think that through. Like, if every single day you find yourself in a state of healing after a blowout, an argument, a sad occasion, a disparaging, a gaslighting episode, a triangulation episode, devaluation of any kind, you have to heal from that. And it's not just because you broke up and got back together. That can also represent healing, because you're healing when you break up. You have to heal from the relationship. If you get back together, you're healing from what they did to you, and can you process through it and make the breakup stick. There's always, it seemed, a continuous state of healing. And with one of the final times there, and the absolute final time, I just said to myself, I will make this the last time I heal from my narcissist. I'm not doing it anymore. Again and again and again and again. Because it seemed every single time. Because at the end, if you're in one and you've been trying to leave, at the end there's a lot of back and forth. Because you're getting to the end. You're starting to see things. You're starting to maybe talk to the narcissist. You're calling them out on stuff. Oh my God, they don't like that. So that creates bigger arguments and bigger episodes. And the more you shine light on who they are, the angrier they get, the bigger the fight gets. Does this sound familiar? If you remain docile and you're a conformist and you don't say much, you probably could last a long time with a person like this, because you're not challenging them. You're not asking them anything. You're not doing anything. So maybe you're not in a constant state of healing, but are you, though, inside quietly? I always wonder about people like the quiet ones, the docile ones, the conformist people, which they exist to maybe match with a person that's like that. But I feel bad because the narcissist might still be doing things to that person. So even if they're not saying anything, aren't they constantly in a state of healing? They're not stupid. They can't just be blind. So they might be a conformist and quiet and docile, but inside, are they dying every day a little bit? Because they're healing every day a little bit? And it could come in the form of anything. You could be having a full-on conversation. And conversation these days could mean like a textation, an emailation, a conversation. They come in all different forms, right? So you could be having one back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, sounds good, and boom, they hit you with something like, well, by the way, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm still just feeling like I want to move on and get out there. And they could really hit you between the eyes in the middle of everything that's good. just because they want to or can. Boom, you're healing. Again. And I just got exhausted. I was in a constant state of healing. There was no more euphoria. There was no more. And you might say, well, I do still have happy moments. I do. Okay, maybe in throughout there were still happy moments. But for me, when I say there was no more euphoria, it was because I knew that the grand scope of things was so broken and so dysfunctional that it was hard for me to find any kind of happiness. And even when it was a glimmer, it was like this. Like I was trying to be a buckaroo, but inside I was so broken and healing. Even in the good moments I was healing. Because I think I was trying to gain my strength to leave. When you are in a situation where it's constantly open-ended and the possibility is there that they might hurt you, that is open to having to go through the healing process again. And every time we go through it, it's a beginning stage of it. Maybe you're an in-bed person. Maybe you're on the go person. Maybe you're running 10 miles a day. Maybe you don't eat. Maybe you eat a lot. There's all different kinds of ways that a breakup or problems in a relationship can manifest themselves in a person. And these are the things I'm referring to when I talk about healing. I didn't want any more open-ended possibility on going through any of the things that I experience when I'm healing. I just said, nope, I don't want it anymore. It was one of the motivations for me because I just can't exist that way. And if you look at it as I don't want any more open-ended, perhaps, and it's always like, perhaps I'll hear from him next month, and how will I handle it if I do? And maybe it'll go differently, and maybe it'll go in my favor for once, and maybe he'll finally see the light, and maybe something I said will trigger, and oh, he seems receptive to that, and oh, he smiled the right way, and he said this word, and oh my God. I know because I did it. And I might be a novice because I wasn't in it for as long as some of you are professional narcissistic victims, I guess we could say. And you know it, and we know it, and that's okay. You've been in it for years and years and years, and you're stuck. And maybe you've gotten to a place of numbness where you're not healing every day. And God, I hope that's the case. But if you have not, and you're not in that unique situation of, decades marriage and you just can't leave, cut it off for the love of Blanche. Let it go. Let this be it. Let this time be the last time. Once you're through this last time, you will be free and done of ever hurting from that person again. But you got to get through it. You got to get through that last time of pain and healing. And it's very easy to get sucked back in by the narcissist, make everything better for a while, and not have to deal with the healing. Because the healing is hard work. It is hard work. It led me to you. It led me to do all this research. It led me to start this channel. I've turned it around because I refuse to not share what I've learned. If you let the last time be the last time, you will get through that last bout of healing, and they can't touch you anymore. Provided we resist the hoovering, and we, don't answer them, and we don't feed them anything. Because they will keep coming, won't they? Oh, absolutely. Especially if they see that you're trying to heal finally and move away from them, and they'll sense when it's final. By the way that you behave, by the way that you look at them, by the way that you answer them, by the way that you're non-responsive. Things like this indicate to them that you're getting towards the end. So they're going to start laying it on thick. And that can confuse you into staying. And again, this is maybe concentrating towards those people that are teetering on leaving. But then if you stay, guess what? You are guaranteed to have to start the healing process again. I'm telling you, I started the healing process, it feels like 1,000 times. 1,000 little mini times throughout the days, throughout the weeks, months. It just feels like every other minute something hit me. Like I used to say to him, I can't have a 12-hour period without some kind of dysfunction with you. We can't even go 12 hours. And now you might say, well, couples have problems and this and that. I know couples have problems. I know that. I was married. I have people around me, friends that are married for very long. I know what it takes and what the work is. I get that. Couples have problems. That's not what we're talking about with the narcissist. When you can't go 12 hours without some kind of dramatic blow up, that's a little more than just a couple having problems. And that should be indicative to you that more pain will come. So if you would like your pain to stop and the healing to stop, the healing is very tough. I think that healing, when you finally make a decision to break and you go and you're dealing with the healing and it's like forever and you know you're not going to see them, that is almost, I think it is, tougher than the pain in the relationship. However, over time, that pain in the relationship will be tougher because it will break you down and there will be nothing but a shell left of yourself. So you have to just buck up and get through it. It's like an obstacle course. You just have to get through it. It's gonna stink. It's gonna rot. You're gonna hate it. But once you're through it to the other side, which could be a long time, you'll find that that poignant healing has passed. And you just have residual feelings and thoughts that you have to process. So I give you props if you're trying to stick it out. I give you and send you courage if you have left them. I send us all perseverance, guidance, courage, and strength. It is a tough, tough, tough position. And I just want you to know that if you want your healing to stop, then you have to get sick of being in a position of healing and want it to stop. And there's only one way to do that. And if you're stuck in it, I don't want you to say, well, wait a minute, then that means I'm hopeless. No. Hopefully, if you've been there a long time, you've learned to get your footing and have your voice and maintain your own position of power in the relationship. Somehow, some way. My heart goes out to you. Goes out to all of us. Chin up.